Hi, I'm going to give my review of the songs of Van Halen's albums from the first up to and including 1984 because I don't have anything else to do. And I'm sure my opinions aren't going to be the same as yours because a lot of people like everything equally and they don't want to admit if they think a certain song isn't as good as another, or they do like certain songs better, but they're the songs that I don't like better. So I could have a conversation with someone and we can maybe agree that the best Van Halen album has two great songs and two not good songs, but the songs that I think are great are the songs that he thinks aren't good, and the songs that he thinks are good are the songs I think are not good. So there you go. So I'm going to tell you what the best songs are. Well, you'll know what the best songs are from my telling you about them. Anyway, the first album, Van Halen, self-titled, Running with the Devil. I thought when I first heard it, it was a little slow. It's all right. I don't really dislike it, but I do think that it sort of continued in the trend of what Black Sabbath would do with slow songs as the beginning songs of their albums. So I thought in a way Van Halen was sort of imitating Black Sabbath. And then the next song, Eruption, I thought that's all right. It's a all right guitar solo, not bad. But I also think in a way that they did that maybe as a ploy to get people to think that they were great in order to buy the album, because wow, the second song is a guitar solo. But there were other groups who had different little bits of things as openings before songs started. Black Sabbath did that sort of thing with stuff like maybe little bit of finger before going into NIB. So again, I think that Van Halen was imitating Black Sabbath, even though Black Sabbath didn't do that on their second song off of an album, but they did do that kind of stuff. Anyway, the third song, You Really Got Me. All right, this is when the album does get good. I like this version of the Kinks song. I still like the Kinks version better. I think it's a little punchier. But if you forget about the Kinks version and only listen to Van Halen's version, it's good. And now Ain't Talking About Love. Now that one's a great song. That one's one of my favorites on the album. That kicks butt. That's Van Halen not imitating anyone else. That's them being them. And it's good. And then I'm the One. It's a good song. It's, to me, a little too fast. It's kind of like a hoppity hop goes the bunny rabbit type of song, but it goes ba 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 ba. Like energizing bunnies going a little too fast. But still, it's decent. and it is an original sound. And then Jamie's Crying. All right, this one's fine. I can listen to it. It sort of, to me, sounds like they were imitating Foreigner a little bit. But, hey, why not, I guess. And then the next song, Atomic Punk. This kind of sounds like they were trying to imitate a little bit of Ted Nugent with that, he did that kind of intense guitar sort of thing. He did it differently, but I think that sound-wise, they were trying to make a song sound like Double Live Gonzo. And they succeeded, but it didn't sound greatly original to me. And now, See Your Love Tonight, that one's fine. That one's an okay song. That's like it's also kind of an original sounding kind of a tune. It's a more basic pop rock, but it's good. I think it's kind of one of the better tunes on the album, even though it's kind of, a deep cut. And then Little Dreamer, I always thought that song was a little tiny bit on the dramatic side, but, I can still listen to it. It sort of reminds me of Foreigner's song, Lonely Children. It kind of has that sort of imitative vibe to it. But, hey, whatever. And then Ice Cream Man, I don't really love it. It's fine. It's a blues song. Not really anything greatly original, but hey, if you want a popular album, you put a blues song on the album. Hey, why not? And then On Fire, that's a cool song. I think that it sort of suffers from being the last song on the album. I think it would have been better if it was like the second song, but it's a cool song and it is original. All right, now for the Van Halen 2. All right, You're No Good. Now this is really interesting. It's a cover tune, but they do it unlike any other version out there, and they sound very original here. It's a good song. I like that slow thumping beginning and stuff. That's cool. And then Dance the Night Away. Yuck. I'd rather hear a song by Sparks. And I usually would never say something like that. Okay, now for Somebody Get Me a Doctor. This one's classic. Good original sound. I used to hear it on the radio. It's kick-ass. And then Bottoms Up. Even more kick-ass. Another great song that I wish I had heard on the radio. And then Out of Love Again. Again, another great kick-ass song. 3 in a row. Hot stuff coming on. Van Halen are doing really good. And then Light Up the Sky. Right when I thought that they were on a roll, they kind of roll back down again. I don't care for this. It's original sounding, but I just don't like it much. And then Spanish Fly. I like this. This is a cool flamenco song. And I dig it. And then DOA. This is another one which is sort of like, if you haven't heard Somebody Get Me a Doctor, this would be the one that you hear. But they're both great. And this song is really, really cool. Really good original song. And really, really heavy, good stuff. And then Women in Love. Boring. And then Beautiful Girls. Nah. I don't really like it. I think it's kind of corny. And then, all right, the next album, Women and Children First. And The Cradle Will Rock. okay, this is sort of like, it doesn't sound like AC/DC, but it sounds like they're going in that proud kind of we're cool like AC/DC kind of realm. And it works. It's a hot tune. And then everybody wants some. Now, this is when Van Halen gets very, very original. And they're shucking their influences from their past albums and getting into stuff that's their own sound. And I like the drums. I like the everything about it. Very, very hot tune. And then Fools, this one's also really kick-ass. This is an awesome tune, and the guitar solo in the beginning is really wild and cool. I like it a lot. And then Romeo Delight, that one's, it's like, further cream on the top, or further cherries on the top. That one's great. Really pumping, really pile-driving, kick-ass song. I like it. And then Tora Tora. I can't say whether I like it or not. It's just like a lawnmower starting. But judging it on that, it's not bad. And then Loss of Control. It's okay, but I think that it's kind of a little bit messy. Like it sort of sounds like they're just playing a little bit too fast and a little too out there. So it could have been tightened up a little bit, but I hear what could be a good song in it. And then Could This Be Magic? I don't like that one. It's kind of dumb. And then that one I think could have been after the song that I'm going to talk about next, which is Take Your Whiskey Home. I don't like the beginning acoustic guitar intro to it, but the song itself is really good. I like that. And then In a Simple Rhyme, I never liked that one. I thought that the playing was good, but the song itself I just don't like. I don't like it. And then the last little tiny bit, they called it Growth later. I do like that. I wish it could have been more of a regular song instead of just a really quick way to finish the album. But as a way to finish the album, at least it's better than In a Simple Rhyme. My word. And then for the album, Fair Warning. All right. Mean Street. This is really, really hot stuff. This is them being even more original. And Dirty Movies, that's a cool song, man. That makes me think of it could have been on a movie while some guy's walking down the boulevard, the song Dirty Movies, if I forgot to mention it, the title. Yeah, going down looking at the hookers and everybody. Cool, kind of sleazy song. And then what's the next one? Oh, Sinner's Swing. I like that one too. I could imagine going into a club and drinking and having fun, and this song comes on and I'm having a good time. Really cool. And then Hear About It Later. All right, I guess they had to step back a bit, make a song that's not quite as good. This sounds fine on its own, kind of, but compared to the other three songs, it doesn't hold up. I don't really care for it too much. And then Unchained, that one's fine. It's not as great as the songs on side one, but it's one of the better songs. I do like it better than Hear About It Later. It's between the first few songs. It's between that and Hear About It Later. It's sort of in the middle. No, wait. First Hear About It Later, then Unchained, then the other songs from side one in the order of how I like them. Okay. Now for Push Comes to Shove, I like that. It's kind of a slow groove, kind of makes me think of if I were to walk really slow down an alley, with graffiti on it. It's kind of a little eerie, but cool, and I like it. And then Could This Be Love? That one's all right. I do like it, but I usually, when I hear that one, I prefer only to hear that song, because to me, it sounds a little different than what Van Halen did usually. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a good song, but it kind of doesn't fit the album, but it doesn't not fit either, if you know what I mean. And then Sunday Afternoon in the Park, that one's really hot. I like that one a lot. I think that one's a cool, really eerie electronic rockin' song. And then One Foot Out the Door, I like that. Actually, it's one of the best songs on the album. It's just that it's so quick that they treated it like it's not much. But I think that if they had done more with it and made it a longer song, it would have been really cool. But I do like it as it is. All right, and now Diver Down. All right, Where Have All the Good Times Gone? This is a good cover of a Kinks song. In fact, I like it better than You Really Got Me as far as their version of it. I think it's a good way to open the album. And then Hang 'Em High. This is a pretty damn good rockin' original song. I like that. It's kick-ass. And then I think the next one is Cathedral. Yeah. That one's all right. It's not great, it's not bad, but it just sort of sounds a little bit like you don't know whether it's a guitar or a synthesizer. And it just sounds like Eddie's just playing whatever for about a minute. And it's not great, but not too bad. And then Secrets, it's okay. Once in a while I'll listen to it and it's fine. And I don't dislike it too much, but it's not one of the better songs on the album. And then Intruder, I like Intruder quite a bit. I think that one's a hot song. And then Oh Pretty Woman, that's good enough. It works in conjunction with Intruder. And once in a while I'll listen to it. But to me, it's not quite as good as Where Have All the Good Times Gone? And then Dancing in the Street, I do like that. I like the electronic part to it, and I think with the drums and with the guitar solo and everything, I think it's a good version of that song. I do like it. And then the next song, I'm trying to think what the next song is. The next song might be Little Guitar's Intro. Okay, yeah. I actually like that. I like the intro. And then the song Little Guitars, I actually don't like the song as much as the intro. It's okay, not great, but it's sort of like how I think of the song Secrets. It's an alright song, but not that great. And then Big Bad Bill is Sweet William Now. It's actually well done for that kind of jazzy sort of thing. It's not what I want from Van Halen, and I usually don't really care to hear it. But I mean, it's not horrible, but it really does not fit the album. And then the Full Bug, this one is hot. I really like that one. That's one of the best songs on the album. And then Happy Trails, it's so short that if I were to try to pick up the needle to take it off, it would probably be done before I put my finger on the needle. So the song itself, the original, I do like, but the way that Van Halen does a cappella on it's just silly. It's not a horrible thing. It's just, to me, it just seemed like a waste of time. Okay, now for the album 1984. The last album that I'm going to talk about. Okay, the song 1984, I could probably do the same sort of thing if I put my elbow on the synthesizer and left it there for about a minute. You know, that's about as much as I think of that. And then Jump. The only reason why I like 1984 better is because it doesn't have the extra stuff to make it more lame. But yeah, Jump, never liked it much. And then Panama, that's a good song. I like it. That's when Van Halen are now getting back in the groove and doing good stuff again. And then Top Jimmy, that's a good song. That's one of the better songs off the album. I like it. I like the groove. I like the punchy, drum beat and everything. It's hot. And then Drop Dead Legs, that one's an interesting song, and I like it. It's a little weird, a little bit interesting, but yeah, that's one of the better songs on the album. And then Hot for Teacher, it's good enough. It ranks up there with Loss of Control as far as maybe being a little bit too fast, a little too predictable for the kind of stuff that they do. But it's not a bad song. It's a good rockin' tune, but to me, I prefer songs like Top Jimmy and Drop Dead Legs. And then I'll Wait. It's better than Jump, but that's all that I want to say about it. And then Girl Gone Bad, that's probably like the very best song on the album. It's pretty damn hot, and I like it a lot. And then House of Pain, I like that one too. That's a good song. The only thing is that it sounds like it was a demo, like maybe the way that David Lee Roth is singing, the words sound like he's not quite at the mic. And so it suffers from production issues. But song-wise, it doesn't suffer because I think it's a really good song. So there you go. That's my take on Van Halen's albums all the way up to and including 1984. Take care, everybody. Bye.